Tenakoto Katawa. Good day everyone. This video will provide information to the correct packaging process for rigid reusable containers. Providing patient safety is a major responsibility of any healthcare provider. Having sterile medical devices available for surgical procedures are both a medical and legal obligation for health service organization. Is to ensure that all reusable medical devices are reprocessed for safe use. All aspects of reprocessing are based through a system of literature, manufacturer's instructions, and industry standards. As the CDHP Sterile Department is applying AS NZS 4187-2014, the objective of this standard is to ensure that HSO clean, disinfect, and sterile RMDs prior to between patients in order to produce reusable medical devices that are able to use safely without the risk of transmission of infectious agents. Standard Australia-New Zealand 2014, page 2. Through packaging requirements on this standard, protective packaging that the sterile barrier system, or SBS, for an RMD, if applied prior to sterilization, must be compatible with the sterilizing process under Clause 5.5.3, page 14. Rigid containers such as Genesis sterilization containers are designed as a sterile barrier system to physically protect the contents and maintains their sterilization and not compromise the effectiveness of the process until the point of use. Rigid containers are mostly used for steam sterilization. Sterilizing takes place after cleaning. It involves exposing items to steam, hot air, or sterilizing agents to rid items or remaining living microorganisms. These sterile items are then used in surgical procedures. The packaging material, whether it is used as an inner or outer wrap, must be compatible with the items being packed and the sterilized being used. According to Aeon Journal article of Terry Link, first published on May 2019, Guideline Implementation, Sterilization, the important factor in preventing infection is ensuring that all surgical instrument is that the sterilization method for a particular device is based on the device design, material packaging, compatibility with the sterilant, load limitation, and safety requirements. Items are packaged before sterilizing to provide an effective barrier against the contamination and maintain an item's sterility once it has been sterilized. Through scanning the barcode in the PDOC system to view the list of the items, all instruments must be checked for cleanliness and working condition in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions for use. Special care must be taken to ensure that all lumens are free from debris. All surfaces, joints, hinges, and crevices must be clean. Any debris left on these areas could damage over time and will create a reservoir for microorganisms. RMDs are inspected and packaged should be fit for purpose to meet all safety requirements to avoid the cross-contamination of RMDs. Inspect the integrity of the rigid container. Verify the top surface and edges of the container and lid are free from dents and chips. Check the inner is not overloaded and that there is sufficient room between the basket room and under the side of the lid. Follow the correct steps to install the filter and ensure that it's properly in place. Missing or wrong filters can lead to contamination of the contents and when lids don't fit properly while a rigid container is designed. This is the filter material placement Genesis crate. Place one filter over the entire filter lid surrounding its sterilant access hole area in a container lid or bottom. The filter material should overlap the filter ridge on all four sides and will secure between the filter retention plate and the lid or bottom when assembled. Make sure when the filter does not overlap itself become wrinkled or creased. To secure the filter retention plate, apply downward pressure to the plate near the lever. Simultaneously rotate the lever toward the indentation protruding from the side of the container. Make sure that the lever is rotated completely to the side of the container and the retention plate is locked firmly in place. For the Filter material placement Escalop grate, lid of the grate filter to be inserted. Position the correct Escalop filter. Apply retention plate and click into place. Ensure tamper evident lock applied. If the procedure is done incorrectly, could undo all the processing of RMDs up to that point. After carefully inspecting every item in the prospective contents of a rigid container, it will be loaded into the container with all instruments handles facing in one direction into an open position to ensure direct contact with the steam during autoclaving. It is important that all instrument surfaces are exposed to sterilizing action. Ensure that all relevant documentation is completed and should have correct identification of the content. Contents with the wrong or missing instruments could cause serious problems up to that point of use. If the procedure is done incorrectly, it could undo all the processing RMDs up to that point. Place the lid on the container bottom, making sure it is properly seated and it should be easily closed and not require force. To lock the container, begin by interlocking the lid latch on both sides. Press down with smooth continuous pressure until an audible snap is heard confirming the ledge is secured. To insert the tamper evident arrow, move the carrying handle to an upright position that the chemical indicator dot is facing upward. Insert the arrow into the open channel found under, have completely passed through and are visible. Choose the proper tamper evident arrow for sterilization method being used according to Genesis information. Every package should have the name of the item, sterilization indicator, name of the area to which the item belongs, and the operator ID according to facilities protocols. Containers may be sterilized in the dedicated loads or mixed loads with the wrapped and other pill pouch items. Place containers onto the manifold below absorbent wrap items. After the successful sterilization, the time and the temperature in common use is 134 degrees Celsius for minimum holding time of at least 20 minutes. For sterilization and storage, but prior to use, check the appropriate color change of the chemical indicator dot on the tamper evident arrows and gently pull and ensure the filter is in place. If the arrows slips out of the channel, consider the contents of the container not sterile. After surgical instruments are cooled, it is extremely important that they are handled carefully to maintain sterility. Packaging summary. Items are packaged before sterilizing to provide an effective barrier against contamination and maintain an item's sterility once it has been sterilized. R&Ds are inspected and packaged should be fit for purpose to meet all requirements for safety. Packaging can also be successful if it physically protects the RMDs and maintains its sterility until the point of use. Non-conformity should be investigated and preventative action implemented to consult the packaging process for rigid reusable containers. With the guidance and compliance of standards and implementation of department's policies and procedures, along with the manufacturer's information for use, the outcome will be a service that provides best practice as a minimum to prevent transmissible diseases and reduce infectious rates. No reira, tenakoto, 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 katoa. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.